Yeah, what's up guys, it's Vilisink again, and we're back with Raid Shadow Legends, and we have a new Fragment Fusion, Versulf the Grim I believe his name is. Let's check. Okay, so meet the champions. Do we know what events we have for this guy yet? I do not think so. We've been told about it, but we do not have a roster for events. So, we'll jump right in. He is Knight Revenant, Force Affinity. Let's take a look and see if he's worth kit-wise, if he's worth going for. So HP champions are always kind of cool. I like HP champions in the sense that you can just stack HP for damage. So yeah, just make skyrocket the HP, 100% crit rate, some crit damage. You know, a lot of great HP champions in the game already. We like Sir Nick is a fantastic HP champion. Miscreated Monster is a fantastic HP champion. So, aesthetically, Plarium always go the extra mile aesthetically when they build a champion. Although there's a tiny wrist and a very little hand, so is this actually a female? It's like a tiny hand. Like the tiniest hand ever holding up a shield that is that big? I do not think so. Okay, Versulf the Grim. Looks kinda cool. Obviously, any legendary. If you could go for it, go for it. Let's take a look at the kit and kind of see what this champion does. So, Stern Admonishing. Attacks one enemy, 50% chance. Cannot be booked higher, you just get damage. 4 books is reasonable for a legendary. Of placing a provoke debuff for 1 turn. Also places a shield buff on this champion for 2 turns, equal to 10% of the max HP. The provoke is probably the better part of this A1. It is a single turn, but you still got a chance of putting a provoke on. There is other champions. The shield places a buff on this champion for 2 turns. I mean, it's okay. There is better A1s. It's, you know, if the provoke was 2 turns to match the shield, or if the provoke was 2 turns with no shield, I would like it a bit more. Reign of Sorrow, AoE attack. AoEs are quite decent. So this is places an extra hit on enemies under stun, freeze, fear, true fear, or provoke debuffs. Each hit has a 75% chance, 100 when booked on a 3-turn cooldown, placing leech for 2 turns. So if you get the books in, you can rely on the leech. The AoE is quite nice if you have Miscreated Monster going first, or Mashald going first, or anywhere there's a provoke. Hell, Rock Breaker. There's a few champions that you could use. If this champion goes after that, there's potential for some damage here. There's been videos. I'm not hugely sure on the damage. I've seen some damage, but I would have to try the champion out for myself. But that doesn't sound too bad. As long as you have somebody CCing before this guy goes. This guy could even go before your nuker, or after the nuker. I mean, just like finish off any enemies. That could be cool. Leech is good because it will just help him sustain, get more life back. So I like the AoE. I like the extra hit. It is circumstantial and situational, but there is champions that you could put in front of him to put on. Like, you could have Torment in your team. If somebody buffs up, put him in a ghost second team. They're all going to get frozen. Like I say, Mashald, Miscreated Monster, Coronar, all these kind of cool champions. So that A2, I would say, has a bit of potential. Quality minions. Okay, this looks pretty decent. The big version of increased defense for 2 turns on all allies. So we've got a defense up. We've also got an ally protection buff on all allies except himself for 2 turns. Increased defense, ally protection. I think there's very few champions that have that. It is the big version. I mean, it could potentially do you well in clan boss, dungeons, doom tower. All you have to do is put in with a lot of defense based champions, and then we could actually see something quite cool with this. So the A3 3-turn cooldown as well, I think is actually pretty decent. That's a strong move, that, to be fair. The moves are just getting better, so the A3 is really nice. If anything, use them just for the A3. And we have Infectious Fury, which is the passive. When hit, 20% chance of placing a provoked debuff on the, so if as soon as he gets hit, there's a chance you can provoke someone, which is not that bad. It kind of helps this here. He can provoke, or the passive can provoke, so it's like a mini CC. And obviously, as we know, the A2, when the AoE goes off, will do extra turns to people under certain debuffs. So it's okay. For Knight's Revenant faction wars, it might actually be really good, because Knight's Rev can be quite difficult to complete. So I mean, there is some utility for this champion, and increases ally HP in all battles by 33%. It's a nice number. It's a HP based champion, giving you a HP aura. As long as you gonna give him some defense to level things out as far as the ally protection goes, he could be a very, very strong tank. So, I mean, the A3 is, for me, where it's at. Big version defense up, ally protection, yeah. 3-turn cooldown. Hell, if you make him high HP really fast, you could just continually help your defense based champions. If you pair him with somebody that will do stuns, freezes, fears, etc. AoE provoke Brago, defense based champion. That could work quite nicely. So the kit of the champion is actually quite cool. The A2 and the A3 I quite like. The aura, it's okay, it's HP, it's 33%, which is a high number. And Infectious Fury, I mean, it might not necessarily be needed if you have somebody that can CC. But it's nice to have it as backup. So, as always, HP based champions tend to have more HP. 22,635, which is quite nice. Anything over 20,000 is nice. A HP based champion, you know you're getting a bit more than that. And as a base to begin with, that's a very strong number, so I like that. Attack, irrelevant, defense, 1200. 1200 defense could easily become 3,500, 4,000 defense. Definitely. So the defense is high enough that the base number you can work from. Like I say, you're going to give him HP, so he's going to need defense for the ally protection. So when he's taking all the extra damage, he can stay alive, mitigate that damage. Speed 96. It's an okay base speed. Workable. Is it going to be going first? Based on the fact that you're going to be using other CC champions potentially with him going first. The speed we can work with, so not too bad. Crit damage, I mean, it's kind of standard. Resistance is 50, which is really, really nice. I do like that, that's quite high. And accuracy 10. Yeah, Versulf, I mean, as a support, he looks nice. If you can go for him, I would say yes, go for him. Get the champion. Should do you well. If anything, for faction wars. If you can get him your early game, he should help you with progression in dungeons as well. purely because of this. And if you're early game, obviously because of this, if it hits respectable, then it can kind of help clear waves or some Doom Tower, another place you could be actually extremely strong. So guys, the fusion is live now. We have events that have begun for this champion, so should we go for him? I'd probably say yeah. There is other champions that can provoke. There's other defense up champions. And there's other ally protection champions, but he's decent enough. HP champion, force. I would say he's a winner, guys. So that's a quick review for you. I hope you're all gonna try the best you can, and as always, take care. We'll see you soon.